there is a reason why I have not seen Top Gun. The reason why I haven't seen Top Gun is because I'm in the Navy. And the boat that I was originally supposed to go to before COVID happened was the Teddy Roosevelt, USS Teddy Roosevelt, which so happened to be the boat where Tom Cruise shot the movie. Right? All of my friends have told me that he was not a very pleasant person on set.
Really?
That's
disappointing to hear.
They said that, not even on set, on the boat. They said he was not a very pleasant person to the other sailors on board the ship. This is all hearsay. This is all alleged. I'm not saying he did anything. This is from what I heard from sailors who I have served with. So because of that, it does. I'm waiting for me to get over that before I can really enjoy the movie, because I've heard it's great and I want to watch a great movie, but I don't want to watch that movie and then be tied up in my emotional feelings because I can't detach from them before I have a chance to see it. But I will get around to watching it. It's just that's why I haven't seen it yet. So with that being said, I have 5 movies that I personally have really enjoyed this year, and the list goes a little bit something like this. And welcome, everybody, back to another episode of the Lando Project. I am your host, Lando Payne, and thank you so much for joining us on this fine Thursday morning as we talk about all the movie news and spread some pop culture positivity. And as always, I am joined with the homie himself, the big guy, B to the C.
My man, what's popping? What's happening? What's going on? Let's get this going. Let's talk some news. How your day been till far, brother?
I think my day is going so far pretty much better than yours. In case you guys don't know, we're doing this a little bit earlier today, and me and BC are in 2 different time zones, and I woke him up because I got things to do.
It's not just that I'm awake. It's that I don't like being awake, and I love to sleep, and having to wake up is a nightmare.
It doesn't matter what you think. What matters is that we are here, and we are here for the
facts.
people. And
those are straight facts.
You know, we are like the post office in the rain, hail, sleet, or snow. We are here always until we're not.
This man just compared us to the post office. Like that's what we is, guys. We's the post office. Okay.
Hey man, I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm just happy to be able to do this. You know, this is all really that I have in this world. Just these movies that we have, man.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Everything going on in the world. At least I still got movies. At least I still got them.
When things
I was watching I'm in the middle of my my Thorathon, as I like to call it. So you know, I'm up to Guardians of the Galaxy is the next film. I just watched Age of Ultron again. And so last night I was finishing Age of Ultron, and every time I watch that movie, I'm just like, I love this movie. I don't understand why people don't, but it's just, I got movies. They make me happy.
You know, about that, not to get off on this tangent, me and Lindsay just started doing, we've been trying to do our rewatch of Phase 1 through 3, the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
Man, Phase 2 is so tough. Phase 2 is so tough for me to get through. Like, I had momentum and steam crushing Phase 1. And then Phase 2 happens and Thor the Dark World happens. And I do not like Age of Ultron. So then I got Age of Ultron, and it's just like constant brick walls that I'm banging my head in. And then I get to look at Lindsay, and she's just so happy because this is her first time honestly watching them. And I'm just miserable because I know how these movies go. But I'm glad.
I don't understand why people don't like Age of Ultron.
Because it sucks.
How? Why? Where? That makes no sense to me.
Okay, 1. This was, to me, a whole... Age of Ultron just was so much... It lacked the enthusiasm, I think, that I had with the first movie. 2, the way that they use Ultron in that movie pissed me off.
How?
It just pissed me off because one, they casted great with James Spader in that movie.
Oh, he's fantastic. Like that scene with him and Vision at the end, just talking to each other. I could have watched an entire movie of just that.
And I could have as well. I think my issue came in when they brought in the Wonder Twins with Scarlet Witch.
We compare way too much to the Wonder Twins.
Listen, if it's a group of two that just pisses me off, they're the Wonder Twins at that point. But no, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver being in that kind of took away from the menace that was Ultron, right? I was expecting more from the Ultron character. I was expecting more from, just in general. I just felt that the Avengers Age of Ultron movie, out of the 4 Avengers films that we got, was the least.
I can give you that. I can give you that it is the least of them, but I don't think that makes it a bad movie. Like I still enjoy it so much. I'm probably the only person on the planet, but I love the relationship with Black Widow and Hulk. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that loves that. Matter of fact,
I liked it.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But that's actually my favorite relationship in the MCU. I wish it would have gone further. I wish they would have been able to touch on it more in Endgame.
I mean, I think that I wish that they would have too. I wish it would have been more apparent on how they touched about it.
They gave it the little moment.
They gave us the little lake scene where everyone's at the lake. And honestly, I saw someone talk about like the 5 stages of grief and how all the Avengers, when they're mourning Black Widow at the lake, they're all going through a different stage of grief at the moment. With Hulk, of course, being anger, he's throwing the thing across the bench, across the lake, and everything. Great moment. Age of Ultron, it's not a bad movie. I do think, though, it was a very subpar Marvel film for that time for that time period. For when those movies were coming out, I felt that in Phase 2, Age of Ultron was one of the weaker films of Phase 2.
I think it's the second of the Phase 2 films. Winter Soldier is obviously the best.
Facts.
And then I would go Age of Ultron, and then Ant-Man, then Guardians, then Thor, then Iron Man 3.
See, I got Guardians at 2. Then I would go. I really liked Ant-Man. I did too. I really liked Ant-Man, so I would put that above Iron Man 3, Age of Ultron, Thor: The Dark World. That's kind of how
Iron Man 3 is still my least favorite Marvel movie, even with Eternals being out.
When we just did the rewatch of Iron Man 3, I actually really enjoyed it the second time around.
I'm over the Mandarin twist. I'm over that.
Right.
But I still have major issues with the lack of War Machine.
Okay, yeah.
And the complete and utter disrespect of not putting AC/DC in the Iron Man movie.
Well, that sounds like a personal gripe. Well, guys, beyond the Age of Ultron movie, we have some other things that we need to talk about this morning. Give you guys a quick recap of what we're going to discuss today. We have a movie trailer we're going to discuss today, and then we have some other news stories. But at the end of the episode, we're going to give you guys our favorite movies of the year so far. We're closing out June. We're getting into July, so half the year is already up. And so we're going to give you guys our personal list of our favorite movies that we have seen so far. Guys, with that being said, there are movies that we just haven't seen yet. We're not full-time reviewers. We do this for fun. So we haven't had a chance to see everything that you may have seen. But that doesn't mean we're not going to get around to watching it. But we're just going to give you guys our personal list. And then also we're going to give you guys a quick recap of the movies coming out in July, right? We're going to give that list as well at the end of this episode. But without further ado, let's get into our very first topic today. And so our very first topic today, BC, it looks like George Clooney and Julia Roberts are re-teaming again. They dropped a trailer yesterday for a movie that they're coming out with called Ticket to Paradise. Movie set to release in October this year. It's a rom-com. We had a chance to watch the trailer before the show began. BC, What are your thoughts about the Ticket to Paradise movie trailer that we had a chance to watch?
I wish this was an Ocean's 11 spinoff. I wish this was Danny Ocean and Tess, and it had nothing to do with robbing a casino or anything. And it was just, oh, after all that, they had a kid and then they got divorced, and now they have to go deal with their child marrying somebody. Like, it just, I think it would just be funny. And I don't know why, if you're gonna do that, like why not just make them have this kind of adventure? Because they have, Danny had to have other adventures other than just robbing casinos,
Right.
right? Like, he had to do something else in his life. So I think that would have been very entertaining to see. But that said, this looks really cute, and I can't help but be in love with rom-com. I love rom-coms. They might be
Same.
probably my second favorite genre of film. So I'm all in on this. I do think the trailer went a little too long and showed us entirely too much of the movie. I cut it off probably with still 30-40 seconds to go.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I've seen enough. I'll go see this movie. I'm not a big trailer person. I like to watch maybe the teaser and the first trailer. But that's about it for me. So I'm this looks fun. I'm definitely going to go see it. If anything anymore, I don't think we'll see any more trailers, but if another one comes out, I'm definitely not watching it. But I'm in. George Clooney and Julie Roberts, they just have this beautiful chemistry, and Caitlin Denver is an American treasure.
No, and I felt the same way. So, guys, to give you a quick, I realized I never really told you what the movie was about. So the movie centers around George Clooney and Julia Roberts, and they are a divorced couple, and they're getting together to go to their daughter's wedding taking place in Bali. And I guess they're not in total agreement that the daughter should be married, so it's kind of like a reverse parent trap switch. The parents come together to make sure their kids don't, to make sure their kid doesn't marry this other person. But the way that the trailer plays out, and you're absolutely right, the trailer, to me, was about 40 seconds, way too long. But mission accomplished. The trailer did what it needed to do. It got me interested. From yesterday, I didn't even know about this movie. Today, I want to go see it. The chemistry between Julia Roberts and George Clooney is just amazing, even when they're disagreeing and spatting with each other, because they still seem like that they're in love, right? I really enjoyed this movie. I was grinning from ear to ear watching this. And you're right. The young lady's name again, she was in the Tim Allen Show, and she was in
Caitlin Denver.
Caitlin Denver. She was in this, and I was surprised to see her in this because I remember her from watching Last Man Standing. And she was excellent in that show, so it was nice to see her in this. And then, of course, Billie Lourd, Carrie Fisher's daughter, she's also playing it. It looks like her best friend in this. Man, it was so endearing. It was so charming. Just the quick what they put together in this trailer. I was really, really, really immediately taken in from the very first joke when George Clooney is saying, "Oh yeah, we've been married. It was the worst 19 years of my life," and she's like, "We've only been married for 5." He's like, "Well, yeah, that's also counting recovery time." He says it much better in the trailer, but the joke is funny, and that was and the entire trailer just continued with that same feeling. And I'm in on this. It was very nice to wake up this morning and to see that, especially because when you're waking up early, you're a little grumpy. But I wasn't grumpy anymore after watching that movie. It set my mood off right. I think that's why I'm in a much better mood than you are, because I got a chance to watch it a few more times. So I really enjoyed that trailer. You're right, though. It kind of felt like Ocean's picking back up again.
Yeah.
George is back to being quicky and snappy with it, which I think that's him at his best, right? And Julia Roberts is the amazing Julia Roberts. BC, besides this movie, we talked about rom-coms. I'm also a huge rom-com person. Do you have a favorite rom-com? What's your favorite rom-com?
Oh man, that's a tough question. You know what? Honestly, it's going to be really weird, and it's odd that this would be my favorite, but I don't know why. I absolutely love Fool's Gold with Matthew McConaughey and oh God, what's her name? Kate Hudson.
Okay,
and Kate Hudson, and it's got Kevin Hart in it.
Yeah.
As Big Bunny.
Yeah.
I love that movie with all my heart. And then, like, I remember when they casted Tom Hardy as Bane.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I don't know who Tom Hardy is. I've never seen him. Or at the time, I didn't. The only thing I had seen him in was Inception, and I didn't remember him in Inception. So when the casting announcement came out, I happened to look him up and saw that he was in a movie at that time.
War, right? This is War?
War. Yes.
This is War.
This
Chris
means
Pine.
War. So I went to see him and Chris Pine and This Means War, and I fell in love with that movie too. And I still watch it all the time. So good.
I love that movie too. That's another one I watch on repeat. My favorite rom-com though has to be The Proposal.
That's a good one
with Ryan Reynolds, Betty White. Right,
mm-hmm.
I love that movie. To me, it's probably my favorite Ryan Reynolds movie. Don't tell nobody, but I love those movies. I love rom-coms. Who doesn't love rom-coms?
It's funny at that point in time, I was like, oh, Ryan Reynolds did this as a favor to get someone to help him make Deadpool. Like I was like, all movies that Ryan Reynolds was doing at that point, I was like, yeah, I'll do your movie. Will you help me make Deadpool after?
It was the long con, bro.
That's what I imagine was going on with a lot of Ryan Reynolds movies at that point.
Man. I love some good rom-coms. I'm definitely looking forward to this, guys. You looking? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want. No, yeah. The only other thing I want to do is we were talking something about off air about George Clooney, and you said you love George Clooney. You had something to say about his Batman.
Oh yeah, his Batman was absolute garbage. But I just love George Clooney for how he apologizes everywhere he goes, like for playing Batman. Like if he's interviewed, he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I kind of ruined it." Just that kind of humility.
And I don't think he should be doing that because I love George Clooney's Batman.
Why?
Because I look at George Clooney's Batman not as a sequel to Batman Forever, not as a sequel to, Batman Returns or Batman, but as a continuation of Adam West's Batman. If you look at it like that,
if you do look at it like that,
it is such a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. If you look at it with that lens, and you're getting off of the Adam West and you're going right into that, then yes, I can see how you make that correlation. However, that's not what happened with me. Okay, I was done watching Keaton completely not destroy, but crush this role with a very mild Val Kilmer.
See, and that's Val Kilmer is the one I hate the most. I thought he was a terrible Bruce Wayne and a terrible Batman. Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones are what make that movie so damn
I was going to have to fight you if you said something bad about Jim Carrey in that movie. Because
Jim Carrey's fantastic. And I love Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face.
I was off. I mean, I have changed my opinion about Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face. As a kid, I really, really enjoyed his performance. As I've then learned more about Tommy Lee Jones, I appreciate that he went into the zaniness. However, it felt like to me he was trying to outshine Carrey. And that is now causing me some tension and some friction with his portrayal. Mainly just
I liked it because it was like they were trying to one up each other, and I liked the competition in there. And I said one of my most used movie quotes is "Luck, blind stinking doodah, luck."
Well, I'm glad that we have you to make us appreciate the things that sometimes we may take for granted. And that's a real serious thing, man. Sometimes we can get so caught up in being jaded, because I definitely know I am. Sometimes we forget about the pleasantries, because as a kid, I loved all those toys. I know that movie was nothing but a toy machine, especially with the Batmobile. And I bought all of them.
And come on, how can you not like ice puns from Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Okay, that's fair. You're right.
The one line, everyone's like, yeah, but the cheesy one-liners. I was like,
That
It
makes it.
was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Cheesy one-liners. And then you throw in Batman to the mix. Those one-liners were some of his best. All right, everybody, chill.
if the Michael Keaton Batmans had never come out, I think that we would have a lot different of an idea for that movie. Because you're right, it definitely does feel like one of those Adam West, and I never looked at it that way until just now.
Also, George Clooney gets blamed for bat nipples when it was actually Val Kilmer who had the bat
It
nipples.
was Val
first.
Kilmer. I don't blame. You notice I didn't say nothing about bat nipples because I know where to point that blame at, and it had nothing to do. Because that's actually the reason why Keaton. One of the reasons why Keaton ended up leaving, because he said he was coming back for the third movie, and all of a sudden the costume has bat nipples. He's like, "Yo, what the heck? I'm out of here, man." But guys, that was our review for the Traveling Paradise trailer that came out. Surprisingly, just a simple rom-com, no big superheroes, just a very simple rom-com that sometimes I think we need in our lives. Are you looking forward to this movie? I know I am now. Comment down below and let us know your thoughts as we move on to our very next topic. And our very next topic centers around the Russo brothers. It seems like the Russo brothers, they've been away from directing ever since they finished directing Avengers Endgame, and then they followed up with, I believe, producing 21 Bridges with Chadwick Boseman. But they've been kind of away from the camera since then. But they have been working deals. They've been shopping this movie around, and the movie has been picked up by Netflix. And it looks like they are moving forward with this movie here. Yes. It looks like Netflix has picked up their movie, and they actually started casting. The movie's called The Electric State. And it looks like they're going to be casting Millie Bobby Brown in this. Millie Bobby Brown's going to be on board to star in this with Chris Pratt in talks to join her. And the movie they said the story centers on an orphan teenager who traverses an American West that is reminiscent of a retro future with a sweet but mysterious robot and an eccentric drifter. I'm pretty certain that'll be the Chris Pratt character, the eccentric drifter, in search of her younger brother. So, yeah, it seems like a fun enough kind of movie. But what makes me more excited about this is, of course, just the fact that the Russo brothers are going to be back. They're going to be directing another movie. They have risen to prominence since they have joined the MCU with their Civil War, Winter Soldier, and, of course, Infinity War Endgame. BC, you've heard about this. Are you excited to see the Russo brothers get back behind the camera with this movie starring Millie Bobby Brown and potentially Chris Pratt?
It's an interesting film. It sounds so much like a like Finch, like a different version of Tom Hanks's Finch with Millie Bobby Brown and a robot rather than old man Tom Hanks and a robot. And it sounds really fun and endearing, and I can't wait to see Millie Bobby Brown do some more stuff. Like, she was really good in Godzilla.
Godzilla versus God.
What was the first one? King of the Monsters.
King of the Monsters.
That was the first one she was in.
Yes.
I loved her in that. I thought she was wasted in King Kong vs. Godzilla.
I would agree with
you. It felt like she was there just because she was there. We're like, well, we got Millie. Just put her in just because.
Yeah, and I felt the same way. I'm loving Millie Bobby Brown. Mm-hmm. Millie Bobby Brown is, and I think we all know it at this point, she has Hollywood in a linchpin, bro. She is going to be one of the biggest stars I think that we're going to see for the next few decades.
But that's what's smart is she's not going out and just doing everything possible. Like she's picking and choosing and taking her time in between projects. And I think that works because while you can go out there and be like The Rock, who's just going to do movie, show, football, tequila, energy drink, movie, you know, or who else? Samuel Jackson. Yeah, I'll be in anything you want. You could do that and we still love you, but there are also some stars who we see too much and I'm like, I don't need to see you anymore.
Kevin Hart.
Like there was a period that Jennifer Lawrence was in so many, it's just movie, Jennifer Lawrence. I'm like, okay, I'm over you. Millie Bobby Brown is out here being smart and being like, no, I'm going to pick my products, pick my movies and everything I do and have a little bit of time in between. That leaves you wanting to see her more. So it makes you, I can't wait for this next Millie Bobby Brown project. So I'm excited to see this come out. I'm excited to see her get in here with the Russo brothers and see what they can do with her and Chris Pratt. I'm excited to see that chemistry, because that is a much different dynamic between the two of them than we've really seen from her. I love the Enola Holmes movie, and I can't wait for the sequel. I don't know when the sequel's coming out.
I do believe it's coming out this year, because I thought it was in the Netflix sizzle reel that they released for the year.
So the release date just says 2020. So yeah, who knows? But I'm excited for that. So the more Millie Bobby Brown we get, the happier I am.
Millie Bobby Brown, and you're right, she's being very selective with her choices, but she's doing movies that are really showcasing her range. She's not sticking to the same thing, because you're right, I didn't think about Enola Holmes, but that was such a departure from what we saw in the Godzilla movie and also in Stranger Things. She's building up a very great filmography, man. And I really do admire what she's doing. And like I said, in 10 years from now, her name is going to be right there with Charlize Theron and those big name stars. And she's going to be with those people, and that's that's a testament to her ability as an actress, and definitely someone to watch. And it's just really cool to see, because it's kind of, we're growing up with Millie Bobby Brown. We're growing up with her. I just hope we protect her as a community and make sure that we're supporting her, and hopefully she continues to make good choices and her agency doesn't let her down, because we've seen it time and time again. We got these rising stars who kind of just get persuaded to kind of do the wrong thing sometimes. I'm not saying this is her. I'm just saying this is a history, and especially in the film community. But I think that they're going to take care of Millie Bobby Brown. But guys, that's our thoughts on the Russo brothers and Netflix casting Millie Bobby Brown for their new movie. What are your thoughts about that? Comment down below and let us know your thoughts as we move on to our next topic. And our next topic really is going to be about our thoughts about the movies that we have gotten so far this year. So 2022 movies so far. Me and BC have got together. We got our list together. I have a list of 5 good movies, and he has a list of however many. And we're just going to kind of go off and talk about the movies that we really like seeing so far. Remember, like I said, these are just personal movies. These are movies that we enjoyed watching. So our list may not be like your list, right? There might be a movie on this list that you think deserves to be on this list that's not. If you believe that way, we would love to hear your comments. We would love to hear your suggestions in the comment section down below. But with that being said, BC, I believe you have a much longer list than me, right? I only have 5.
Well, I mean, I have seen a good amount of the films that have come out this year. And I don't know, only the top 3 are really ranked for me so far.
Okay.
And I think, most of our top 3, we might have together, but, I loved Lightyear. I thought Lightyear was a fun film. I don't know if I really put it in like the all-time greats of Pixar, but I did still have fun watching it. Another one that really has been forgotten about, no one really talked about when it came out, and it wasn't that big of a hit, was Dog.
Lindsay wanted to watch that movie. It screamed teardrops. Like it just screamed, hold on to your puppy and don't ever let go. Right. So my wife wanted to watch it, so that's why I haven't yet.
I normally try not to say this in public or in front of anybody, but I actually don't like dogs.
This has been a good episode of the Lando Project, guys.
I don't have an issue with dogs. I don't want a dog ever. Like
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't like dogs jumping on me and all that stuff. I'm like, no, because my stuff is always fresh and nice, and I'm like, I need you to stay away from me. I don't need fur on me. But I love certain dogs, like my sister's dog Austin. I love him to death. Every time I go to Tahoe, he sits on the couch with me and we watch Star Trek together. Mm-hmm. He loves to watch Star Trek with Uncle BC. Uncle BC. But at the same time, Dog was such a fun movie with Channing Tatum. He did such a good job to be able to play opposite a dog.
Yeah.
Like, that's mad respect, bro. And then also my buddy Jay has a very small role in the film, so that was really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then of course, we have Jurassic World, not on my list at all. I don't know if if it would be on yours, but I just no.
It's not. It's not.
The top 3 for me are going Top Gun at number 1, which was epic beyond all proportions.
Mm-hmm.
Followed very, very closely by The Batman. And then I would have to put Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness at number 3. Now, I do suspect Doctor Strange to drop on the list as more movies start coming out. But as of right now, it is still up there at the 3rd.
It's a pretty solid list. I appreciate everything that you said. Okay. So my list goes a little bit differently than yours. I want to preface this by saying, no, I have not seen Everywhere All at Once. No, I have not seen The Northman. And no, I have not seen Top Gun yet. There is a reason why I have not seen Top Gun. The reason why I haven't seen Top Gun is because I'm in the Navy. And the boat that I was originally supposed to go to before COVID happened was the Teddy Roosevelt, USS Teddy Roosevelt, which so happened to be the boat where Tom Cruise shot the movie. Right? All of my friends have told me that he was not a very pleasant person on set.
Really?
That's
disappointing to hear.
They said that, not even on set, on the boat. They said he was not a very pleasant person to the other sailors on board the ship. This is all hearsay. This is all alleged. I'm not saying he did anything. This is from what I heard from sailors who I have served with. So because of that, it does. I'm waiting for me to get over that before I can really enjoy the movie, because I've heard it's great and I want to watch a great movie, but I don't want to watch that movie and then be tied up in my emotional feelings because I can't detach from them before I have a chance to see it. But I will get around to watching it. Mm-hmm. It's just that's why I haven't seen it yet. So with that being said, I have 5 movies that I personally have really enjoyed this year, and the list goes a little bit something like this. So starting off at number 5, okay, I have Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
That should have made the list, my list, too, because I did really enjoy that movie.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, silent surprise for me. I didn't think I was going to like that at all. I thought it was going to be another like Smurfs reiteration or like something like that, or like another Scooby-Doo kind of thing. But no, this movie came and it totally blew me away with the CGI, with the animation, with how they took all the different types of animation through the years and compiled it to this very well-written story about Chip and Dale and where they've been. It was so unique. It wasn't a rehash like you have seen before where it's like, okay, let's go back into the toy barrel and let's see what we can pull out. They did a little bit of that, but they had a very fresh take on it. And then also with the Disney IP, they were able to bring in all these fantastic cameos from certain things in weird ways that totally blew me away. I love that movie. It was so fun to watch. And oh man, Andy Samberg crushed it. And John Mulaney, those two crushed it. I want to see more. I love how they dug at Alvin and the Chipmunks. Alvin and the Chipmunks is a prime example of a movie that they could have easily fallen into that pit of what Alvin and the Chipmunks did. Right?
The first Alvin and the Chipmunks was a good movie, though.
I did enjoy the first one. It was the squeak
after that it became
the squeakquel and all that kind of stuff, and the cruise ship and all. Yeah, it kind of got a little played out. I enjoyed that movie. So that is my number 5, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Number 4, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The Nicolas Cage fake film, right, that he put out. I really, really love this movie. The movie it pretty much is about Nicolas Cage, but he goes by, in this movie, he is Nick Cage, and he's a parody of himself. And it was so great to see him and the Mandalorian traveling around doing certain things. And Pedro Pascal was absolutely hilarious in this movie. I didn't know he was actually this funny, but the character he plays was very much like Luis from Ant-Man.
Gotcha.
Very much like Luis from Ant-Man. The plot was okay. It wasn't the strongest plot. And it does have a plot. The trailers don't make you believe that there's an actual plot to this movie, but there is a plot, and they are doing something in this movie. But just to see Nicolas Cage make fun of himself in that way was a lot of fun for me. And that's all I want to get out of a movie. If I can leave a movie and I can say I had fun watching it, that matters more to me than anything else. That's all that matters. Number 3, Doctor Strange and the Mom of Madness. I like this movie, right? I think I'm kind of fitting into the majority with this movie. I'm not anybody special with how I feel in regards to this movie. I thought it was a very good movie, but I thought it was a very middle of the road for Marvel, right? I don't think it's a top 10 Marvel movie, but I don't think it's in the bottom 10 either. I thought it was a very sufficient Marvel movie, but it did have some really cool stuff. I loved how Sam Raimi.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I love how Sam Raimi was able to come back into this world, especially after what he did with the Spider-Man trilogy, but bring in his Evil Dead references and his horror element and his style to fit this movie. It definitely added some much-needed layered dimensions to how the Marvel movies have been going so far and to separate itself in that way. I definitely think that held up. I would definitely love to see Sam Raimi tackle more MCU projects. Maybe smaller in scope, because I believe that's where the problem with this movie fell out. I think that the scope was too large, and it's not even the scope of the movie. It was our fault. It was our fault for believing all the rumors. It got hyped up for all the rumors because I believed all of them. Bro, if you would have told me, like, yo, Howard the Duck is going to come in here with Thanos, and they're going to do, I would have believed you. Because that's what all the theories were at this point. You know what I mean? So I really, really enjoyed Multiverse of Madness, but I'm also agreeing, like you said, that is going to kind of go down as I start to see some of the movies that I mentioned that I haven't seen yet. I can see those taking the place of Doctor Strange and that moving down my list. Number 2 is a movie that I saw and we did a review on, was Hustle, the Netflix Adam Sandler picture.
I still haven't seen that.
You're missing out, bro, because it was a good one too.
I know.
It was a good one too.
It's on the list.
Adam Sandler did what he does whenever he decides to show up for a movie. It had heart, it had charm. It centers around this basketball player that he has to go recruit for the Philadelphia 76ers. And I was really, really just in love with this movie from start to finish. It was a little bit of Rocky mixed in there as well, which if you know me at all, you know that Rocky's my favorite movie of all time. So just to even get a little bit of that in there was enough for me to really say that that's coming to get in my number 2 spot. And my number 1 spot is Batman. I loved Batman. The Batman, for that to say. The Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman that came out directed by Matt Reeves earlier this year. Man, the more I think about this movie, BC, I am not going to lie. This may be my favorite Batman movie. And
I think it is the best Batman movie. When you just look at, who Batman is and what Batman is, The Batman is the best Batman movie. Is it my favorite Batman movie? I still think Batman Returns takes that cake. I still love Michael Keaton too much.
You like the Batman Returns that much? I didn't know that.
I love Batman Returns. But I do. The Batman is just such a fun, incredible, awesome look at Batman. So I do think that is the best Batman movie. Not, and it's up there with my favorite too. So, but.
Yeah, I love this movie. When I was in the theater watching it, and I was telling this to my friends, because a lot of my friends, they watched it at home. And they're like, I don't see what the hype is. You had to have seen it in the movie theater. You've had to have seen it in the movie theater to really get the vibe that Matt Reeves was trying to sell you on, because the audio, the audio mixing in that movie was phenomenal, especially when it came to the Batmobile. I love what they did with the Penguin and his origin, the Falcone storyline, the Riddler storyline, which I thought was so well crafted, and the performances across the board, I really, really enjoyed. Yes, did I want to see Robert Pattinson pull more out of his Bruce Wayne bag? Of course I did. But if I pull back, right, when in doubt, zoom out, and I look at this as the first of what is going to be a trilogy, they're going to progress the Bruce Wayne story. So I'm looking at this as in that way, and I love what they're doing so far. And it's weird for me to say so far. I haven't said this in a long time. My favorite movie so far is a DC movie, not a Marvel movie. And I think
wow.
and I think that I think a lot of people may feel that way, but they're afraid to say it. And it's okay to say that you like the DC movie, man, because people give DC some hatred.
But is that still going to be your favorite movie 24 hours from now?
What he's talking about is I will be seeing Thor tonight. I don't know. Listen, Thor has my permission to take the number one spot away from Batman. Okay? That's what I'll say. However, it's not just the fact that it's the Batman. Matt Reeves constructed a masterpiece of a story.
Yeah.
The third act left me wanting more. I will say that. But
I think the third act was a little long. But
but I still really much enjoyed that movie. So, guys, that's my list, man. What's your guys' list? Comment down below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this matter. Let's talk about it. Tell me some movies I need to see, because it's evident that I haven't seen many. When I was going through the list, like, I need to figure this out, I'm like, I've missed out on a lot of movies this year that I need to catch up on. Blame that to being a family man and having responsibilities and everything. But I will disregard those responsibilities and go watch these movies for you. I will do it in a heartbeat. So with that being said, let's move on to our very next thing. And we're going to quickly go through the July release dates. We are closing out June. We want to give you guys an idea of what's coming out this month. So BC, you've had a chance to kind of go through the list. Is there anything sticking out to you as some must-watches for July?
Well, I mean, obviously, as you're going to see it tonight. Thor: Love and Thunder is my most anticipated. Like that's what I'm really looking forward to.
That's why you're waiting until next week to see it.
Yes. Fuck, I hate you. Oddly, I keep seeing the trailer for Minions and I keep going, I'm so tired of seeing this trailer. But the more I see it, the more I go, okay, it looks kind of cute though. And the Minions movie, I think, have been a lot more entertaining than the Despicable Me ones.
Are they really? Because let me tell you, as much as I love animated movies, I was in the very small minority of people that did not like Despicable Me 1 or 2, or is there a third one? I just don't.
I think there's a third one, and I think the first one was good. I remember when I watched one of the Minions, I watched all of the Despicable Me movies, like all of them, to kind of, I don't know at what point that was. I think it was the first Minions or something. I don't know. But they were enjoyable. They're fun little movies.
The trailer looks good. Bad. The trailer does look good. I will say that.
The other one coming out this week that I'm excited about is The Princess on Hulu. I've seen a couple trailers for it with Joey King and Dominic Cooper. That one's kind of stood out to me a little bit as well. And of course, DC League of Super Pets, I'm excited for, because anything with The Rock, I'm all in. But what about you? What are you most excited for other than House Party? I know that's number one on your list.
Yep, House Party. Definitely gonna watch that movie. Gonna be all up in there. I want to see DC Young Fly. No, I don't want to watch House Party.
I can't believe this is actually coming out. So anyone who's not, since we didn't know about it, House Party is a remake of the 90s film House Party.
The great movie, the great, fantastic black movie, House Party. I'm sorry, I hate to say it like this. This is one of those, like, there's Friday, you know what I mean? There's Friday, there's House Party, There's Martin. There's a few staples of the 90s that really helped shape black culture, right?
Yeah.
I'm not happy at all that they're doing this. And it's not because that they're doing this. It's because of what is, one, there's no trailer.
And it comes out in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. There's no trailer for this, which shows that there's no confidence in this movie. It's another LeBron James production, and I'm sorry, after the stink that was Space Jam 2, not looking forward to this. I think DC Young Fly is in this, and I love DC Young Fly as far as like his offset stuff, like his comedy stuff. I don't want to see this. I don't know why we're doing this. Anyway, I'm off of this because I'm about to get pissed off. But Minions. Minions is coming out. You talked about that. Of course, I'm seeing Love and Thunder tonight. Next on the 15th, The Gray Man, right?
Oh, that's the Netflix, right?
That's the Netflix film with Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, and another Russo product. The Russo brothers product is The Gray Man. That's coming out. I think that one's going to be another good one to go see as well. The following week, I think the big movie coming out on the weekend of the 22nd is of course, going to be Nope, the Jordan Peele movie. BC, are you excited at all to see the Nope movie?
You know what? I was really excited when the first trailer, the Super Bowl trailer, came out.
Yeah.
More trailers that have come out that have shown more about what's going on in the movie make me a little less excited. I was like, it's about aliens? Like, I'm like, okay, this just feels like Signs. Mm-hmm. But I trust anything Jordan Peele does. So I'm still going to go see it, and I'm excited that it's going to be more than what I think it's going to be.
I'm the opposite of you. With every trailer I saw, I got more and more excited. Oh, wow. I am really wanting to see this movie because we've seen alien movies before. We've seen it. Mm-hmm. You know what we haven't seen?
Jordan Peele
alien movie where it's not about the aliens. It's about what they're doing. There's the whole premise of it. The aliens are going to show up early in this movie, but they're trying to make money off of the aliens. Let's go. Like, yeah, that sounds like some shit that I know some homies of mine that would do. Like, yo, we got the aliens. Someone get the World Star out. Let's monetize the aliens.
Who said get World Star out?
Yeah, man, and that's the premise of this movie. Not to mention Steve Wynn is in that. The cast is spectacular in this movie. I'm in for this. I'm going to be there for sure. And then you talked about a DC League of Super Pets. Of course, I'm going for The Rock, but I told you I'm really more so going for Keanu. Keanu could do no wrong in my heart except for that god-awful Matrix movie that I don't talk about. But Keanu's going to be in this. I'm here for it. And lastly, there was one, I just kind of saw the trailer for it, but the Vengeance movie, the Vengeance from Blumhouse Productions. So we have a Blumhouse movie coming out, and it's called Vengeance, and it stars B.J. Novak and Issa Rae and Ashton Kutcher. Very interesting movie premise that looking forward to. So I think that's also going to be a sleeper hit. Everyone loves a good Blumhouse Productions movie. Mm-hmm. Them and A24 are really doing some good stuff.
So Blumhouse is trying to get the rights to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Really?
Yes. They've said, Jason Blum said he would really like to do a Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'm like, ooh, that could be the one thing that revives that franchise. Blumhouse doing a good version of it. While I have not liked their Halloween movies, I think the tone they set, I think they could do a good job with the tone and making the Nightmare on Elm Street films.
Would they bring back Robert Englund?
Yes, he said he said I have a way to make sure Robert Englund can play him again, and we'd still be good. That's the only way you could do it.
Yeah, Robert Englund, he can do it. I mean, he can still do it. He still looks great. One, and two, Freddy Krueger, he's covered with makeup anyway. But he has such a nail on that role. Now, not to take away from the last Nightmare on Elm Street with
Jackie Earle Haley.
Jackie Earl Haley also did a really good job as that role. It was a bad movie. It was a bad movie, but I thought that he did a really good job as the character, right? I thought that he really embodied the character really, really, really well. But at the same time, it was one of those things. And I think that he was also the best casting choice, Jackie Earl Haley, for that, right? I don't know who else you would have picked for that. But that just shows you how good Robert Englund is at that role. Like, that's his. You know, the same way that we talked about Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds for as long as he wants it. You know, Robert Englund, he's definitely the guy. So I would love to see that. Blumhouse, and I understand your concerns about the Halloween movies, but I will say this. I do believe that they have at least revived the Halloween franchise. In a better way.
The first one, I was so disappointed in because I saw that scene at San Diego Comic-Con in Hall H where he's walking through and he goes into grabs the hammer and then kills the one lady and then goes into the next house and kills another lady. And it's almost like a one shot. And I saw that scene. I'm like, this is epic. And that was the only good scene in the movie. I was so disappointed in that film. And then the sequel was weak.
Yeah. When I saw the first one, I didn't watch any of the trailers. So when I saw the first one, I went in totally blind. So for me, that was like a highlight. I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Whereas I guess if it was spoiled beforehand, I guess I would have felt the same way. But
well, they had shown that scene. That scene, they showed us the entire scene in its entirety in Hall H.
Wow. Okay.
And that was awesome to see. And I'm like, oh, this movie's going to be epic. And I remember my sister was in town and we went late night to see it. And we both walked out going, that was awful.
Now I know that Prey is coming out in August. The new reboot for Predator.
Yes.
That's not a Blumhouse, is it?
No, that's 20th Century
Fox. Yeah, I mean, I want to see Blumhouse take on more of these. I would like to see them revive Jason. I'm a huge.
That was the next. If you're gonna do Friday or Nightmare, you need to do Jason too.
You got to do Jason. But I would love to, because I still want to see Freddy more Freddy and more Jason. Personally, I want to see them on a road trip together. I just want to see them traveling. You know.
I love slashers, horror movies.
I do.
I love slashers.
Now, I know yesterday I talked about how black people, we don't do spirits and stuff. I will watch a good slasher movie.
There you go.
I don't do demonic possession and stuff like that, right? Little girls and the creepy voices in the hallways. Like, nah, man, get up out of here. I'm going to punt the little girl over the fence, right? Like, that's how I feel about these movies, man. You know, so I don't do the spirit demonic possessions, but I will see a good Freddy Krueger movie. So I would love to see Blumhouse tackle that. Well, guys, that is about it. That's pretty much all we got today. Very short day. Not a lot of movie news, but guys, that's our thoughts on the July movie releases. Is there any movie that is coming out in July that you're looking forward to? We would love to hear it. Comment down below and let us know your thoughts. And with that being said, that concludes our episode of the Lando Project for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. BC, where can the people at home find you if they want to get to know you?
On all social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at The Grind Calls. And of course, check out thegrindcalls.com where we answer the call to bring you pop culture positivity.
And I will be dropping a out of the theater reaction for Thor later on today, because I will be seeing that today, but it will of course be non-spoiler. So look forward to that, guys. But guys, with that being said, we are out of here today. Please.
Also, before we go, happy Jersey Day, guys. Brand new episode of Jersey Shore tonight.
And I'm sure we'll give you guys our thoughts and impressions on the Jersey Shore. But guys, if you're still with us, hit that like button, subscribe, and share. And we will see you guys all tomorrow for a brand new episode of the Lando Project. So with that being said, finger guns.